Hey everyone, it's Finn here, live at PAX East, talking with Dave from Atari because they recently just acquired Thunderful Games, which means they're now in charge of Replaced, one of my favorite upcoming indie games. So tell us how that came about. How'd you guys work with Thunderful?
You know, our leadership team and the Thunderful leadership team have been talking for about a year. We sort of slowly put in motion this deal to acquire them. It's been a really good fit, and we're very excited about it. They bring three amazing studios: CodeSync out of Sunderland, Early Morning AM Studios and Stormteller, both out of Sweden, that add a lot of engineering prowess, and we have a very, very busy games pipeline. So we're teaming up with them on a number of projects, which is fantastic. Thunderful also is a publisher and had some great titles, both in their back catalog, things like Steamworks, and a number of older titles, but some titles that are coming out this year: Planet of Lana 2, Asuka, and then of course Replaced. We've had Replaced on the floor here at PAX East. People are loving it. I've had a chance to play the demo. It's really a very well-crafted game by Sadcat Studios out of Belarus, and yeah, people are excited to see it here. They're excited to have it launched in less than a month now.
It's like one of the sleekest games I've played on the floor. It just visually, the aesthetic is unmatched, and the vibes are just like so. I love that you guys have it here because this was a surprise to me. I did not know this was going to be here. I thought the Atari booth was all the Bubsy 4D, and then Jay and Silent Bob was also here, and then surprise, Replaced.
Yeah, you know, talking to my colleagues in Europe, you know, I thought let's put it on the floor. Why not? We knew it would do well, and I was curious. Just curious to see how it does and to talk to people about it. It's got a great flow to it. They call it a 2.5D platformer. Very cinematic in how it looks, very smooth in how it plays, very deliberate. And it's also got sort of a film noir aesthetic, which is, you know, kind of dark, post-apocalyptic, but I think it's really well balanced. I don't find that it over-indexes against any one of its attributes. It sort of has a really nice mix. It keeps you engaged in the story, but also the gameplay. The combat is not it's not always in your face, but there are moments of intense combat that I find the mechanics really, really interesting. But
it almost has like a Batman flow to it from the Arkham games, where you're just chaining together, comboing, and like parrying and counterattacking, and it becomes almost like a dance. But the way that they move it all together and animate it is just so smooth.
It is. It's really quite lovely. I've enjoyed. As I said, I've gotten a chance to play it a bit, and I've really enjoyed it a lot.
Now, have you had a chance to meet the team? Or
I haven't yet. No. Okay. I mean, outside of a few calls on the phone. And I haven't met anybody at the studio yet, so I'm looking forward to doing that in the next month or two.
Now, from Atari's standpoint, because you guys have had a kind of resurgence of late, being a publisher and just kind of rebuilding the Atari brand, like what has been your favorite thing in bringing the name back into gaming?
It's a good question. You know, I think one of the most important things for me personally is to see this fan base that's been around for 50 plus years come back to the brand after the brand kind of wandered away from, you know, our core fans. So that's been really, really rewarding to kind of to meet with people at shows and talk to people online in our Discord, and just to have people who are so passionate about Atari sort of get re-energized and rediscover us again. And for us to be known as a gaming brand again, not just a licensing brand, you know, or not just like to be a real gaming brand that's doing collections and new retro style games and remasters and really kind of getting deep into the market. It's also been very satisfying bringing back this interesting balance between game development and publishing with also hardware. So we brought back the original cartridge-based hardware 3 years ago, and that's been really, really successful. And it's allowed us to reconnect with the homebrew community and who have been making games for 30 years plus, So now there's a much bigger addressable market for their content. We're working with them closely. People are buying cartridge games.
I mean, hey,
it's super
I'm a big
fun.
physical person, so that makes me happy.
Yeah, physical's big for us too, both in cartridges, but also we're one of the, I feel like we're a unique publisher in that almost every game we bring out finds its way to a physical format some way.
Nice.
Not everything, but almost everything. We find a way to self-publish or work with different partners to sort of right size, because there is a lot of people still want physical media.
So what you're saying is this is an exclusive that Replaced is getting a physical edition.
No, I can't speak ahead to Replaced. Yeah, there's a lot of questions about Replaced in terms of whether or not it's going to get physical, what platforms it's going to come out at. I can't speak ahead of the team at Thunderful, but I would love to.
Hey, the more people that get to play Replaced, the better. It's such a fun game. I'm glad that A, that you brought it here, and B, that it's finally at a point where it's almost out. Because it was announced, I don't even know how many years ago. I remember the event where it was announced that, and it was like one of the standout surprises, and then we just didn't hear from it for years.
Yeah, you know, it's a small, passionate development team, and they sometimes you just take the time to get a title right.
Yeah.
And it would be a shame to rush something like this out.
Always.
Because as you know, because it feels wonderful. So one of the nice things about having a business that's got balance and stuff, you can kind of give things the time they need, and you know we're really close. I think it's April 22nd, yeah, we're
That's
excited.
Awesome. Well, look, I know the show floor is about to open. It's about to get crazy. So, just how can people follow Atari or Replaced, or just learn more about it? And yeah, just how can they?
So Atari.com is a great place to visit. We have a Discord that's really, really active, where we talk about not only what happens at Atari, but Digital Eclipse and Night Dive, and now the new studios and Thunderful. So it's really, really active community there. The website for Replaced is playreplaced.com. Great place to learn about the game. Also, you can click through and get to the demo if you want to give it a try before it launches in about 3 weeks. Yeah, I encourage you to do it. But and there's a Discord for the Sadcat Studios as well, where they're talking about Replaced, and once it launches, I think there's going to be a lot of dialogue on that nice. Discord as well.
So I always end on one final question, and it's usually the hardest one, so I apologize in advance, but in your heart of hearts, if you have to choose, cake or pie?
Cake or pie? I'm definitely a cake person.
Okay.
And you know, my definition of cake might be a little broad, but I think cakes are delicious. Nothing wrong with a good pie, but you know, I will, you know, 70% of the time I'd choose cake over pie.
That's fair. Hey.
I find pie very situational. Like I have to be in right mood, right temperature outside.
Right holiday.
Yeah, sometimes it's holiday driven.
Yeah.
More people should eat pie outside of the holidays.
Agreed.
I think I would agree with that.
We used to be apple pie, you know, that was what this country was founded on.
You know, two of my favorite desserts, like oil cake, olive oil cake. I don't know if you ever had it.
No.
Non-traditional, it's absolutely delicious, what people call that cake, and it's a cake. And then if you've ever had a true Basque cheesecake, absolutely delicious. We make both of those at home. My wife's amazing at them. And those are both, if we're going to go down to the dessert path, I recommend people explore those two things.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Cheers.